Good morning, grade 6. Welcome to day 3. Just wanted to show you really quick what I'm expecting from you with Muse Score and a couple other alternatives for you in case you were confused. So to start, make sure you're on Padlet every day to check assignments. Some of you have been not so good about turning in recordings, but I want you to know that there are other things you need to do for music. So you need to always be on Padlet, always checking what to do. Even if you refuse to practice and submit something to me, you can still look up here for projects. For example, here's our very first one. You already created a simple 4-measure song. We did that on Monday. But it's Thursday, and so today is the beginning of your first kind of big project for Muse Score. So I put on Padlet the criteria that I want from you. So here's what you need. It's got to be in C major, and it'll have to be a pentatonic scale. We've been over this before when we talked about 2 Chinese folk songs. We talked about what a pentatonic scale was, but I'm going to go ahead and show you that again in a moment. Must be in 4/4 time, and there needs to be at least 8 measures of music. You're going to choose the grand staff as your instrument. What that means is that's just right hand and left hand piano. So all you've got to do is choose that. Okay? Next, when you finish your composition, by the way, this is due Friday. Once you finish your composition, you need to submit it to me through email. Okay, so I wrote my email in the Padlet. You should be able to get access to that easy peasy. So without further ado, let's get started. Make sure that you've got your Muse Score open and ready. When you've got Muse Score open, you should see something like this pop up. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to click on Create New Score, which is this piece of paper with a plus sign. For your title, you can title it anything you want, but for this example, I'm just going to title it Mr. Sam's Example. Really creative, I know. Subtitle, Grade 6 Music, Composition. Composer, Mr. Sam. Lyricist, copyright, blah, blah. You don't need to worry about that. Don't fill those in. Next, you're then going to choose instruments. You can choose treble clef. Just make one long thing of treble clef. Or you can choose bass clef and make one long thing of bass clef. But we're not going to do that. We're going to click grand staff so that we can have access to both at the same time. That's really critical that you do that. Don't click finish yet. Click next. Then it's going to ask you to choose your key. Now I know some of you have trouble reading keys and knowing what key it's going to be in. Okay, there's lots of options. As you can see, we have every major key available. So what you're going to do, you're just going to click the blank one because that's C major. Okay, it's blank. If you like, you can then set the tempo for your song. 120 is fine. I probably wouldn't set my song any faster than that. Maybe somewhere between 100 and 120. After you've chosen your key signature and your tempo, click next. And then it's going to give you a chance to confirm your time signature. Make sure you have it set to 4/4. You can change the top number with these arrows, and then you can select your bottom number with these. 4/4. Or, as an alternative, you can actually click common time and just have a C. For our video, though, and to avoid confusion, I'm going to make sure to click 4/4. No pickup measures, and then you can enter the number of measures. I told you to make at least 8. So, the minimum measures you can have is 8. If you're feeling creative and you want to have a few more, you are more than welcome to create some more measures. Now, there is a hint down here. You can also add or remove measures after you've created the score. So if you want to set it for 32 just to feel good, you can do that, but remember we only need 8. After you do that, you're going to click Finish, and then your score will be made. Nice and easy. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to give you an example of what I expect from this and a quick tutorial on how this all works. So if you want to input a note, all you need to do is click N. Okay, this will give you the note input, and it will let you click anywhere you want on this highlighted area to do a note. So in this first measure, I'm going to go ahead, maybe the first 2, I'm going to put a C pentatonic scale so that you can hear what those sound like. Okay, so pentatonic scales, remember, use the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 6th note of a major scale. So for a C major pentatonic, we're going to have C, D, E, skip, F, G, and A. Now that also would include the higher pitches of each of those as well. So you're not limited to just these 5 notes here. You could also do high C, D, E, skip F again, G, and then A. Oh, let me see, if you feel like you'd like to. Okay, and then you can also go back down, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, you can see that I finished up that scale completely. Now one thing I can do is I can push N on my keyboard or click up here, your choice. I'm going to push N though. And you can see that I have made all of the notes available to you for this song. Now you can, because you're in grade 6 and you can handle it, you can go ahead and choose any rhythms you'd like, okay? But I only want you to do the treble clef line for today. So that's only one line of music using any of these notes to create whatever sort of clever thing you'd like to. One more time to remind you what notes you're able to use. C, D, E, G, and A. Anywhere on the staff, anywhere in those measures, you can use those 5 notes only. What I mean by anywhere, I mean you can use any octave you'd like. Okay? For now, that's what you need to understand. You can use just those notes. No other notes, please. If I see or have a composition submitted to me that uses other notes, I will ask you to resubmit. Okay? I'm very serious about that just because I want you to have a simple set of boundaries to work within so you don't get overwhelmed. Now, if you'd like to play the whole song, click off the N, so the N is not highlighted anymore, and then click where you'd like to start. And now you can start your song and listen to it in one of 2 ways. A, you can push the play button, and it'll play through everything that you've written, which for me is just a double octave C major pentatonic scale. And you can click it again to stop it, or if you'd like, you can just push the space bar, and it'll start wherever you left off. I stopped it here, so it started playing the rest of the song from the ending. But if I would like to, I can go back here and click at the beginning and press the space bar. And it'll play through it again for me. Push the space bar again to stop it. Okay, and then you can try and listen to what you like. Anywhere you click, you can then press space bar, and it'll start playing it from there. If I want to start from here, I just click that E, and then I press the space bar. Okay, the last piece of criteria for this composition is that I don't want you to use rests too often. Now, rests have a purpose. They are important. However, do not be too liberal with them. That means don't overuse them. Okay, I want to hear mostly music. I don't want to hear silence a lot. Okay, so if you'd like to, if you need extra limits, you can use whatever rhythms you'd like. Okay, this has a setting to go all the way up to what are called, let's see, 32nd, 64th. Those are 128 notes. So that means you can fit a lot of them in a single measure. Okay, but let's try to control ourselves a little bit, and let's stick to just whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes. Okay, you will get extra points for being more creative, so I encourage you to use these other rhythms instead of just quarter notes the whole time. Be creative. Let your creative juices flow a little bit while you make this. And then when you are all done with this, all you need to do is go to File, save it to your computer wherever you'd like. I have a section specifically designed for parts where I've had to change things, or I have Muse Score files in here. So click Save. And then when you're all done with that, you can go to the email. Here's mine. New message. Attach. And then all you need to do is, oops. Sorry about that. All you need to do is go to Computer, and then you can find it. I have mine under Documents, in Scores, and then I've got other scores here that I can choose, or I can go to my Muse Score, Scores, and then I have everything that I've ever made here. But here's the one I made for you guys. All you have to do is attach it, and then whoever you send it to, as long as they've got a Muse Score account, you can go ahead and send it to them and they can read it. Okay, well, I hope this video helped you guys understand a little bit more about Muse Score and how that works. This is my preferred program for you to use to send me documents. However, I know that for some of you, you were having trouble getting it going. So my suggestion would be uninstall the program and try to reinstall it. You don't have to pay for anything to use it. I don't have to pay for this, for instance. The other program I don't mind you guys using is one called Noteflight. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that really quick. Okay? Once again, completely free website. You don't have to pay for it. The way you use it is you make an account on Noteflight, noteflight.com. Click Create. And then you're going to select Start from a blank score sheet. Click OK. Once again, we have our staff. Now, I'm not as familiar with Noteflight. I know a few things about it. You can click plus to add measures. So I'll go ahead and make 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my 8 measures. And then all I have to do is click on a measure to do things. And I can create the same way I do on Muse Score. So if this is the only way that I'll let you use this is if Muse Score does not work. If you can't get Muse Score to work, then you're welcome to use Noteflight. When you finish your score on Noteflight, all you need to do is go to Score Details. You need to make sure that you can share the score. Okay, so that means you need to keep it from being private. And then, really easy, copy the link and then send that link to me in an email. Then I can look at your Noteflight score. So those are your two options. Muse Score. Muse Score is the primary one. If you can't get Muse Score to work at all and you've tried every possibility to make it work, then you need to use Noteflight. If you have a Mac, an Apple computer, I know that Muse Score sometimes has trouble on a Mac, so Noteflight might be your best option. But if you can get it to work, please do so. Okay, I hope that explains everything that you needed to hear for this assignment. It's due Friday. Please read the criteria in Padlet as carefully as you can, and good luck on your assignment.